With much of the 2024 focus inevitably on the race for the White House, Democrats are trying to reclaim the House and expand their majority in the Senate. The DCCC raised what it is calling a record-breaking $37.7 million during the first quarter of this year, and that includes nearly $17 million raised in the month of March. That's almost $12 million more than its Republican rival. Here's another acronym for you, the NRCC, raised over the same period of time. Suzan Delbene is our guest now. She is the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee here in Washington. We shorthand that to DCCC. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. Let me ask you about something that happened just today. I hope you're briefed up on it. The Supreme Court has lifted a hold on a lower court ruling that may allow for the redrawing of congressional map in Louisiana. To the degree you can, what's your comment or reaction to that move?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And we had a monumental Supreme Court decision on the Voting Rights Act with respect to Alabama, and that same decision has an impact on Louisiana. We need to make sure that everyone has fair representation. The maps were not fair in Alabama, and for similar reasons, we can see changes in the map in Louisiana and maybe other states as well. So this is incredibly important to make sure that communities can really feel like they have representation, that their votes are not diluted. And this will be important as well as it gives opportunities for there to be new leaders and potentially new members of the Democratic caucus from the South.
So in Louisiana, currently 5 representatives that are Republicans, 1 Democratic. Do you believe that if this decision holds, you could have 1 more Democratic representative out of Louisiana?
Potentially, as well as Alabama as well.
And so for those who think about this periodically, I know you think about it almost relentlessly, the majority in Congress, particularly the House, is determined by the map and how they're drawn. What do you take away from, as you mentioned, the Supreme Court decision in Alabama and also one that is consistent with that in Louisiana? How would you say this Supreme Court is acting in the space of voting rights that may have surprised you?
Well, the Voting Rights Act was historic legislation, really that was critical to making sure that we do have fair representation across the country. This decision from the Supreme Court really reaffirms that, and it was a monumental decision. But really, we went through redistricting last cycle, or the last 2 years. People thought it was over, but what we're seeing is abuses to the way lines were drawn, and that has led to litigation and important results like we saw in Alabama and what we'll see here in Louisiana. That does impact how those lines are drawn, impacts the makeup of districts and the potential for candidates to run there. So this is very, very important, has a big impact. And we need 5 more seats to take back the majority in the House, for Democrats to take back the majority in the House. And changes like this could have a big impact on our ability to do that.
Something that has also had a big impact, the Supreme Court's decision now just 1 year ago, 1 year and a couple of days in the Dobbs decision. If you could identify 1, maybe 2, or maybe more districts where you believe this will be particularly important, either in terms of recruitment or defeating a Republican that is in a swing district, where would you direct our audience's attention?
Well, we have 18 seats across the country that Republicans are in right now that President Biden won those districts in 2020. So, and a good chunk of those are in New York and California. Those are top targets for us, but obviously are places where, we had Republicans run and said they were moderates. They are anything but moderate. We saw from the first day of this Congress how extreme the Republican majority is and has become even more extreme over time, holding our economy hostage and threatening a default, continuing to take away reproductive freedom across the country. In every funding bill we've been looking at, they continue to put measures in to try to really take away more access to reproductive care. And so they've even shut down the House because they can't agree with themselves. So we're going to see more and more voters in these districts understand the extremism that is leading the House of Representatives. Folks want to see responsible leadership.
Congresswoman, in those swing districts you mentioned, Do you expect President Biden to campaign there, and will the Democrats either seeking those seats or representing them currently want them to be there?
Well, I think the president's going to be campaigning all over the country, and the president has had an incredibly successful record. We've seen that. The legislation that we passed, the leadership of President Biden, helped these investments move forward, investments in infrastructure to continue to create jobs, to support our communities. These are incredible. We really had a historic Congress last Congress, incredible investments in our communities. And a lot of that was because we had a House majority, Democrats had a House majority, and President Biden was part of that effort. So he is going to be bringing that message across the country, as well as House Democrats and our Senate colleagues. So it's a strong, strong message, and we're working together to make sure everyone's aware of all that's happened and what can happen when we have responsible leaders in charge.
So very quickly, Congresswoman, as head of the DCCC, you would say those in the Democratic Party who say privately the president's a liability, the vice president is a political liability, you disagree?
I think we've seen incredibly strong performance from President Biden. He has been a true leader. He's held Republicans accountable. He has brought our country forward. He saved us from a default where Republicans were leading us. So absolutely, the president has done a great job, and we will be in a great position if he's reelected for another 4 years.
Congresswoman Suzan Delbene, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.